November 20th, 2023. And look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to open the Select Board meeting for November 20th, 2023.
All right. I'd like to remind everyone this is being recorded by MCM, and I'd like everyone to join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, great. I'd like to make a call for a vote to go into executive session to discuss strategy with respect to litigation that, if conducted in an open session, may have a detrimental effect on the litigating position of the town, and to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining that, if conducted in an open session, may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the town. And then we will return to open session, which is scheduled for 6:30 at the conclusion of the executive session. Look for a second for that.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to go into executive session to return to public session at the conclusion of the executive session.
After returning from executive session. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
We're back in open session to conduct the business of the Select Board for November 20th.
All right. I don't have any chairman's comments this evening. I think we'd look for the town administrator's report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I participated in police bargaining with attorney Rich Messina, Clifford Kenny Law Firm. We're still continuing to negotiate with our police department. Participated in Myers Injured on Duty training with Cabot Insurance, with Danielle Kerrigan from HR, Deputy Corbo, and Deputy LaSalva. Participated in biweekly update on emergency shelters with Governor Healy's administration. Participated in the CPC meeting to address a number of projects that were on their agenda. I spoke in favor of the skate park wall, the Daniel Webster Estate chimneys, the Garrettson Barn roof, the GAR Hall project, and the Ridge Road ramp, along with Damon's Point dockage. Solar meeting with Matt, our consultant, and Fred to discuss the school roofs and funding options as we start the plan for the spring town meeting. Meeting with Fred Russell, our facility director, to get updates on maintenance issues around the town, including the schools and winterization, the new DPW project, the winterizing of the dog park, town hall project. The first floor bathrooms are just about completed, be open next week, library, and the generators. Participated in the South Shore Regional Technical Vocational School presentation with Tom Hickey regarding the new high school project here in this chamber. Meeting with Danielle, Sean Patterson, DPW Superintendent, and Paul Duros, head of the Water Division, to discuss some ongoing personnel issues. Participated in the state-level disaster response and recovery process for municipalities offered by the MMA. They talked about requests for assistance, local response, state response, federal response, disaster timeline, recovery resource centers. There are 8 of them in the Commonwealth. The Stafford Disaster Act and Emergency Declaration and Major Disaster Declaration. That's the biggest and involves the president getting involved. Conducted management review on department heads. Started my annual review, and last week did Fred Russell and Craig Jameson. Meeting with our new treasurer, Sean Strobel, to discuss the capital budget request, FY23 closeout, FY24 budget, and start to put together the FY25 budget. Meeting with Town Council Bob Galvin to review some ongoing legal issues. Participated in a town-wide sexual harassment training. This is mandated for all of our employees, and was conducted by Clifford and Kenny's law firm. Weekly meeting with Kate and Jenna to review unresolved issues, scheduling issues, and correspondence in the Select Board office. Meeting with Tom Goodwin, our IT Executive Director, to review time frame for digitalization launch, which I'm looking to launch sometime in April of 2024. Participated in a Zoom call with our on-call architect pre-submission. Participated and directed a financial update meeting regarding closeout of FY23 budget and certification of free cash with CLA, our consultant, Sean Strobel, our treasurer, Kathleen Maresco, our assistant treasurer, Sue Flynn, our acting town accountant, and Meg LeMay, lead from CLA. Participated in police negotiations. Again, we had a second meeting. Our next meeting's December 6th, so I think we're getting close. Phone conversation with the audit firm, with Mike Nelligan, scheduled to review FY23 sometime in January of 2024. Phone meeting with Regina Porter regarding Marshfield 1773 tea burning reenactment that will take place this Sunday, November 26th, from 2 to 5 p.m. on the town green by the Congregational Church. And folks are asked to show up with tea bags, not boxes of tea, but tea bags to be burnt. They don't want to be overindulged in tea. Attended a very successful Cops for Kids with Cancer at Haddad's last Thursday, run by our police department. There was barely standing room. It was great to see so many people out there to support such a wonderful cause. Hosted a welcome meet and greet coffee for Sean Strobel with the town government on Friday. Participated in beach nourishment meeting regarding possible routes for trucks to deliver the sand to Green Harbor and Duxbury Beach projects. Weekly call into WATD regarding upcoming events and a review select board meeting this evening. Participated in monthly CRS PPI meeting at the planning office with Greg Greenmont, our town planner, Joe Rossi, our CRS consultant, Tim Williams, Doris Creary, Nancy Pareca, and Amy March. And we talked about reduce and avoid flood damage, strengthening and support for flood insurance, foster comprehensive floodplain management. Participated in the MMA's legislative briefing webinar today. Where they talked about the governor's FY25 budget. House 2 will be filed on the third Wednesday in January. House and Senate budget gets taken up in April and May, respectively. End of the session. This is election year, so the session will end on 7/31/24. The legislature will continue to meet informally through the end of the year. Revenue is hovering around $40 billion. Review of the FY24 budget. Housing bond bill was filed for $4.12 billion, and FY25 consensus revenue, December around the 15th of the month. The House and Senate Ways and Means will get together, and they'll come together on a reference number, looking at past experience and sort of predict where the revenue should be, so then they can begin to construct the budget. I had a meeting with Gerard Blandino, Town of Marshfield's new community relations specialist, with Lieutenant Artie Shaw, EOC director, to discuss storm winter issues and power issues. Jared Blandino will be working with us closely as we go through the winter. And finally, meeting with a potential buyer and their realtor regarding the purchase of some of Mr. Crowley's property in the Grant Rock Esplanade. They're looking to open a business, and they had some questions, and I tried to help them out with some answers. So that is my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator. Okay, so we're going to move to the action items. We're going to take items 6 and 7 out of order. Town Treasurer here. Number 6 is a discussion and a vote to adopt the town's fiscal policies. So on our packet here under number 6, it's the Marshfield Consolidated Fiscal Policy. This has been previously voted upon. It gives budget policies, revenue policies, self-supporting operations, capital planning, financial reserve and stabilization fund, debt policy, student activity, receipt and turnover policy, investment, OPEB, that which is long-term, credit card, purchase cards, accounts payable, procurement, surplus items, purchase orders, benefit workflow, direct deposits, future deposits. This is kind of a living document.
It is a living document.
So you have the floor, Mr. Treasurer.
I don't really see there any need for any significant changes. Since we're going through the implementation of Munis, it doesn't make a lot of sense to change a lot of the operational policies until we actually are fully migrated over to Munis. So I would strongly recommend that we keep the fiscal policy as is until we make significant changes to the operation.
I'm sorry, to what? I'm sorry.
Until we make significant changes to the operation.
How will this be made to the public?
Can you elaborate? How will the public know about this?
Yeah.
They'll see it from the meeting, and we do, I believe that we have the policies under the treasurer collector's office.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's where they look for it?
That's
Okay,
where they
just
look.
in case someone wanted to look
Yep.
it up, because it is, it's 22 pages, so.
It is.
It kind of is just a guideline on how you run all budget policy and credit card policy, travel policy, things like that.
Correct.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may, and the treasurer may, the financial houses that we go to every year to borrow, this is one of the documents that they
Okay.
look at.
Either of my colleagues have questions, concerns, comments? Okay. So we've addressed that issue, we know how it's going to public. Then I'd like to make a motion. The board moves to reaffirm the town of Marshfield's consolidated fiscal policies as brought forward and presented by myself in the overview and discussed by our new treasurer, Charles Ogle. Financial policies set the boundaries within which the financial decisions of our town are made. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to reaffirm the Marshfield's consolidated fiscal policies.
Move on to 7. Uh, 7 is a discussion and vote to adopt the town's COSO, is that how you pronounce it? Say it, COSO? COSO policy, COSO. It's an internal framework. COSO stands for Committee of Sponsoring Organizations. It broadly defines the internal controls as a process affected by the entity's boards of directors and management and other personnel designed to provide reasonable assurance regarding the achievement of objectives in the following strategies: effectiveness and efficiency of operations, reliability of financial reporting, and compliance with applicable laws and regulations. And I'll turn it over to you for comments.
And again, I think that this is a pretty comprehensive document. It is a living document at this point in time. I think it is up to date, so there was no recommendations for any changes currently as the document is.
You feel comfortable with the document as written?
I do. I feel that it fully addresses the risk and any risk associated in the mitigation process in order to accurately assess those risks and mitigate them.
All right. This, once again, is a living document. So, any thoughts?
I'd just like to make one comment. As we're moving forward and things start to come, not that they're not in place now, but as you know, and we all know that we're working on some things. Do you want to revisit this again in 6 months or so, rather than wait till this time next year, or what's your feeling?
My feeling is we really have to get more integrated with the new core accounting system
Okay.
before we start looking at risk and assessing where we can strengthen some of the operational challenges that we might face with a new system.
Okay.
But it doesn't make sense to try to put that thought into this particular document since we're still living with the current systems that we have in play. This document addresses some of the operational risk, but obviously the investment risk, as it's spelled out here, is pretty comprehensive and it's in line with what the state expects.
Right, it's very detailed.
It is very detailed.
And it will require a lot of work to make the changes and implement them as you see fit. So
Right.
I know it's going to be a process for you as
It
well.
is.
So, thank you.
All right. Then, without any further conversation, I'd like to make a motion. The board moves to reaffirm the town Marshfield COSO policy sponsored by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Institute of Internal Auditors regarding internal controls for effectiveness, efficiency of operations, reliability of financial reporting, and compliance with applicable laws and regulations. For a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to reaffirm the town's COSO policy.
Thank you for coming in, Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night, Sean.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Going back to 1.
Number 9 should be quick, Mr. Chairman, if that is good with you.
All right. First two is to sign form. Yeah, that's fine. Discussion and vote Sure, we'll take 9 out of order. Yeah, that's the page I was looking for. This is discussion vote to authorize town administrator to sign form certifying the DPW superintendent, Sean Patterson, authority to file after the fact. Anyone here would
Yes,
like to comment?
actually Superintendent Patterson is here.
Yes, I
Mr.
see him
Chairman.
there in the,
And Dan Bowen, who's their
see Dan as well.
financial.
Evening.
I haven't had a chance to congratulate you.
You did. I think
Welcome.
you saw me at town meeting, but
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you very much, yeah.
Welcome back.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Glad to be
welcome
back.
That's right, I did.
The feedback.
I think this is pretty straightforward for you, unless you have any comments you'd like to bring out.
What exactly are we talking about?
This is the form that we had assigned certifying you as the DPW superintendent to file Marshfield Storm Water Asset Management Plan.
I saw that.
You
I
good
don't
with
have, I'm fine with that.
that? All right. Any discussion from my colleagues?
I'm happy you're here. You're
I'm happy to be here.
in our
I'm
chambers,
glad to be
so-
back. I had a great time when I was here in the past, and I'm
A
looking.
great time?
I did. I loved working here.
Glad to hear it.
We're glad to have him back.
Yeah.
I understand that.
And Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes,
while
sir.
we have the superintendent here, I did have to reach out to the superintendent twice over the weekend with constituents that were calling, and he
Yep,
immediately
I saw
took
that.
action on both items. So
Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Oh, my pleasure. That's what we're here for.
So then, without further comment, we're good? I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town administrator to sign the form for the November 7th, 2023 for Sean Patterson certifying authority to file as the DPW superintendent to file the Marshfield Stormwater Asset Management Plan, which is an after the fact. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fidler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the town administrator to sign the form on November 7th, certifying. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Same to you.
Yeah,
We'll see you tomorrow anyways.
Thanksgiving.
Yes, thank you.
You okay? Okay, that was number 9. All right, we'll go back to 1, which is discussion and vote to adopt a multi-hazard mitigation plan. Let's see, we have the town planner here. This is it's been quite a lengthy project, is that fair to say?
It takes you almost a year to do one of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I've been to a few of the publics, and what this basically is a whole new multi-mitigation hazard plan, and I'm gonna let the town planner explain some of this to the public.
Okay. So the reason they call it multi-hazard, because it is not just storms or hurricanes, it's potential forest fires, earthquakes, a whole list of things that we're supposed to review and be aware of. The multi-hazard mitigation plan is basically a framework for the town to think ahead, see what we need to do for preventive events, like raising bridges or raising structures, or in some cases, like our wastewater treatment plant, making sure that that won't get flooded in the future. What it does is, the two biggest steps is, first, it is required to have one of these plans in order to have the CRS community rating system, which currently allows our residents that have the FEMA flood insurance to have a 15% discount. We're hoping by the end of this year, with the efforts of the committee, that we will have that up to 20%. So that's one of the main benefits for a lot of our residents, but beyond that, it's town-wide. It covers our infrastructure, our seawalls, our water lines, our sewer lines, et cetera. So one of the things that were identified in both the previous mitigation plan and in our MVP coastal resiliency plans was to look at the flood control capacity of Dyke Road 139, where the dike is down in Green Harbor. And by making improvements to that, we could potentially protect over 300 homes in the Marshfield polder behind it from the flooding levels that are projected in 2030. That is a big ticket item. We're not going to be able to do that alone. By having this plan in effect and having this listed as a project, it allows us to go for federal and state funding. Another example is we have that, as I mentioned, the wastewater treatment plant being protected. That's 40% of the properties of the town. If we were to lose the wastewater treatment plant, that affects 40% of the town. So again, that is a much wider town-wide focus. It also gives us greater ability to apply for the federal and state funding. And in some cases, if we don't have the plan and these items are not listed in these plans, we're not even eligible to apply for these grants. In the document itself, you'll see on the left, there's little blue boxes. These little blue boxes identify the requirements that FEMA and MEMA look for in order to approve the plans. Our last hazard mitigation plan was the first multi-hazard mitigation plan that did that identified this for the reviewers. This plan follows this. A number of other communities have now started doing this because it reduces the time that it takes the MEMA and FEMA people to get back on us. This still took quite a while for that review. We have gotten the review. We've been told by MEMA and FEMA that the last step is needed is to have our select board vote to accept the plan, and then we are done and we're good for another 5 years. I did list, I sent you guys a memo. Fortunately, you got it Monday because I spent some time on the weekend getting this done. But I did note the changes between the 2018 and the 2023. We have had a number of ongoing mitigation measures that we have done, but you still need to follow up, such as the brochure, the TV shows that we've been doing and stuff to identify things to the public. There have been a number of things that have been completed, which include the moving of the DPW barn, the hiring of a CRS coordinator, the adding of 1,200 feet of seawall in the Brant Rock area, the purchasing of new snow removal equipment, applying for the municipal vulnerable community status, which we did get, and then we did use for that other study, the coastal resiliency. Emergency repairs to the spillway at Magoon Pond, rebuilding of Beach and Canal Street bridges, and adding additional snow storage capacity. Now, that one kind of, I was like, well, and that means that when we have big snowstorms and we have to dump the snow someplace, we actually have, now that the DPW barn has moved, we've had the ability to use that and has increased our storage capacity. We've had a number of actions that are still underway that I've listed. We've had a few things that were deferred, which was elevating the flood-prone Eversource substation, which is the South River Station. That takes Eversource and the town. It's not something we could do by ourselves, so that's going to take a little while. We've had some discussion about relocation of Webster Street to Well due to sea level rise. Again, that's enough time in the future that we don't have to worry about it in this 5-year time frame. And then we also have that study on the drainage system for Kentucky Street down on the Marshfield-Duxbury border that floods a lot. That's going to take a lot more work because the outlet is directly into the marsh, and Conservation Commission and other environmental factors, we can't just dump the water there. We have to come up with a solution that's going to, again, be kind of expensive and take a little while. So those were the items that were deferred. And then there were a couple of new items, action items added. One of the recommendations was to prepare a substantial damage management plan. One was to create a master stormwater management plan. And then the last one, which is probably the most doable and easiest of those three things, was the elimination of unnecessary dune paths and to revegetate bare coastal barrier beach areas. So that kind of summarizes the major changes between the documents. And the recommendation from the staff and from the committees was to, when the selectmen feel comfortable, to go ahead and vote to approve.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just add a little to that, the process that I think we went through was a very open process. We had a number of public hearings, people came, we had the workshops on Saturday so that people could come there. We had them at the senior center, we had it at the library. What I think really helped progress this plan was that every quarter at the department head meetings, because it's really department heads that drive this process. Once things have been identified, federal government wants you to identify. If you do not identify weaknesses within your community, they're not just gonna give you money because you had a hazard. They want you to, they're smart with their money. It's like an investment. They want you to identify and come up with a plan. And what, Greg's very good at, and Joe Rossi comes to our meetings, and he'll go through the list. What was that, like a 20-page document that we had? 20-page document. A lot of it's DPW issues, selectmen, even the select board had to do certain things, and we check those off. And then we keep that report and show that we're making continual progress each and every quarter. We've been very fortunate to check off things. Even simple things like putting the orange signs out there, warning people when there's a storm, putting stuff on our website, information, getting it there, code red, all of those things, and then really getting into making some substantial changes. And then Greg, of course, highlighted some of the real big ones, and the big one is, and I'm gonna try to work very closely with Sean Patterson. We need to come up with a plan to protect that. It's gonna affect 4,500 houses that ever went under. Now, I don't want people to be panicked because they listen to us, water hasn't come near there, but we need to start preparing now to put an earthen berm, steel reinforced around that with pressurized doors like down south, because that would, 50%, just 45% of our people, if that ever flooded, would not be able to flush their toilets, and, that would be a serious thing, but that's why the plan is so important. The government likes you to start looking at this. There's a finite amount of resources, and the people who get the resources are the people who do the work. And that's really what it comes down to and where the challenge lies. Just because we do it, we hope that we do it and we start, checking off those things and hope that we never have a disaster here. But it gets us thinking, and we want to be proactive. And even like the EOC, making sure that we're doing things. When they look at when we have federal storms, we send the drone up every year. We just had a meeting this morning, talk about CRS. Lieutenant Shaw, they had the drone out. You might say, well, why? We're not having any storms. No, the federal government mandates that you have to have a basis before every winter season. So they want good pictures, clear pictures of what the seawall looks like, because they get so many claims. If you got a broken down seawall and you're not being proactive, we've done Foster Ave, we've done some Wrexham Beach area, we did Brant Rock 1, Brant Rock 2, we've done patches on Bay Avenue. So we're constantly investing millions of dollars into that, and that's the type of stuff that the federal government's looking at. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. First, Mr. Gilman, I'd like to thank you and your team for all the work. This is a sizable piece of work. I know you worked with the Woods Hole Group. I know I attended a couple of public meetings as part of this process, and I know it wasn't easy because that's part of 130 pages. We had 3 different policies for this evening. I received this packet basically Thursday to review, to prepare for this meeting. I had 22 pages to review for the town's fiscal policies. I had 30 pages to look for the coastal policies, and I have 128 pages to review for this in 2 days. And I'm sure this is fine, but I have to put my signature on it. And I just have not had the time in 2 days to be able to read 128 pages. It's not a trust issue at all. I'm sure it's great, and that's why I've had some communication saying, what's what's different, so I can try to focus on just that. So unless you're telling me that, and I know we're a little late, unless you're telling me that there'd be a deadline we'd miss or something like that, I'd really love to be able to take the time to feel comfortable, so, and I don't know, my peers, maybe they've both had a chance to read the entire document. It is a significant document that's going to provide guidance for the next 5 years, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned in the earlier memo, if you focus on Chapter 5, that's the most important. The other chapters are background information that we have to update with the storms and all that other stuff.
But I'm always, always a little envious of my town administrator, because when he asks to speak, he always has all this background, because he's had a chance to read all this, and he knows all this already, so I like to catch up to him.
And Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes,
may,
sir.
it's perfectly okay. I think the chair could table this for a vote for December 4th, which would give everyone ample time to read all those pages.
And my guess is, I will say, once again, fantastic, thank you very much for allowing me, but I'd like to do that. I don't know if you two feel comfortable, if you two want to go ahead and cast a vote, that would be fine. I wouldn't be able to support it because I haven't read it, that's all.
I'm comfortable with tabling it. I just want to just make sure that in the period of the next couple of
Right.
weeks, that we're ready to do, we do our due diligence.
If we get no storms, type of thing,
Yeah.
then yes.
Can I just ask, so Chapter 5, I
Zero.
have read it.
Yep.
And I was part of the process, and I understand a lot of what that means. So when you said there's in the margin, so when FEMA takes this and does their due diligence and make sure you've checked off all your boxes, correct? They're only concentrating, they're gonna read the whole thing,
They read the whole document.
They read the whole document, but they
Yep.
concentrate on a few topic areas as outlined in the left margin, is that correct?
Yes, so like on page 8, you'll see 1A1, 1AB,
Oh, I understand.
et cetera. That's flagging in it seems like every 5 years, they add more requirements. So there are more
What a surprise,
references.
right? What a surprise.
There's more references as you go, but when they review it,
On the other side.
that's exactly what the FEMA and MEMA people look at to make sure, okay, this document is doing what it's supposed to.
Right.
The boards have done what they were supposed to for public outreach, et cetera, and that you're addressing the issues that you're supposed to address based on your storm events, et cetera, that you've had with the last 5 years.
So 2 other questions. So this reads as a draft, but it's really a working final? Is
It's
that
a working
correct?
final because FEMA has said if you vote to accept, we're done.
Okay.
Okay.
And then lastly, in our packet today, it had the policy guide, and it identifies opportunities for improvement on various elements of the plan itself. And I just wanted to make a comment on that, because I think that kind of just gets to the crux of what's important. Because we're here, I mean, yes, we're identifying all these things that have been going on in the last 5 years, but by identifying where we are right now, it's so important that we set the tone and identify the areas for improvement, and they're not holding us to the fire on that, and it's part of our commitment to make our town, able to stand up to the forces of nature. Is that a good explanation for what
Yes,
I'm
because
saying?
it's
Okay.
not just a response to after a disaster type of thing.
Right.
It's allowing us to go to them for preventive funding for, all right, we're going to protect the sewer treatment plant. Here's our plan, it's gonna cost X amount of money, and then we're gonna get the federal and state grants that are available towards that. Every year, they have funding that's for preventive maintenance, and we would then apply for that and be able to get that. We would still have to pay some money, but that we would get substantial help from the federal government on.
So
actions
this
like-
is actually question number 4. So you've identified probably 25 or so, I noticed in various parts of this, items of concern,
Yep,
right?
Right.
So you're prioritized and have offered us with maybe 8 of those 25 here for us to kind of concentrate on. There may be number 20 or 22 or 25 that is a quick fix that we're able to do as
Ourselves.
a town, yes. So as we're working towards trying to figure all that out, I just wanted the board to understand that this is just a working guide for us. It's not written in stone. It's an example of what we can do better, what we've been working on, and
So tomorrow, as an example, the department head meeting, Joe Rossi is coming to the meeting. We're going through the document again and asking, okay, has anything happened or has something else come up? The CRS and the PPI committee also, every year, reviews the documents and says, okay, is there anything that we need to add? Is there something that we're missing? That type of stuff. So although this is a 5-year plan, every year we were required to send a brief, like, 10-page update. Is there something that's gone on that we have to change?
so is Woods Hole, are they good and we're still working with them?
Woods Hole is done for the time being. It's done for the time being, and because we have that CRS PPI committee and we have the department heads involved, we can update this ourselves. And that's what we've been doing for the last 5 years, which made making this document a lot easier. Because then when you hire a consultant, you have a lot of the work already done. And they're just going through and trying to update, okay, FEMA and MEMA now want us, what about this and what about this? And have you met this requirement or this regulation?
Thank you. That's a
You-
lot.
you-
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You think this is the last heavy lift on this, and then it's going to be just more, as you're saying, updates type things?
For the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
5 years from now, they want a whole new plan that meets their regulations at that time, which
So we'll
could
go
be
through, we'll go through this
substantially.
again in 5 years, what you're saying, and annually we'll go through this.
We go through it anyway annually, but 5 years, we have to go back to FEMA and MEMA with a new document.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Steve?
I feel comfortable voting, but obviously what the majority decides is most important.
Okay, cool, yeah, well, we'll take it up on, I just want to go through it, I mean, so I'd like to make a motion that we table to a date certain, which is December
4th is our next meeting.
date certain December 4th, for the hazard mitigation plan for a discussion and vote. I look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to postpone the vote
Okay.
to December 4th, 2023.
Good night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
December 4th, do all my reading. Do you want to go, you want to step and get some water or something? You all right?
I think I can, unless it's annoying you.
It's not annoying me, you just sound like you're coughing.
No, I'm fine.
All right, number 2, a discussion vote for the request for permission to adopt 2 donations for the Ventress Memorial Library. Number 2, yeah, here we go here. So this is the Friends of the Ventress Memorial Library donated $5,000 to be deposited into the library's gift account. The funds will be used to supplement the library's materials budget. Also, a $150 donation in memory of Michael Kelly. That's a really phenomenal gift from both. Any comments from my colleagues?
No, sir.
Not hearing any, then I'd like to make a motion the board moves to accept on behalf of the Ventress Memorial Library 2 donations, a donation of $5,000 from the Friends of the Ventress Memorial Library, and a donation of $150 in memory of Michael Kelly to be deposited into the gift account for the library to be able to supplement its materials budget. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept the donations to the Ventress Memorial Library for $5,000 and $150 in memory of Michael Kelly.
All right, the next discussion vote on request for permission to accept donations for the Veterans Services Department. This is a donation of $1,000 that is coming in from the Marshfield Community Rib Cook-Off. I did go to it. The ribs are fantastic. And we also get a great donation which is going to be used to provide services, health and welfare and morale, and financial need of our veterans and their dependents. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Wait, I didn't read the motion, actually. Yeah, no, let me go there. I'd like to make a motion to accept on behalf of the Veteran Service Department a donation of the amount of $1,000 from the Marshfield Community Rib-Off. The donation will be used to provide assistance for health, welfare, morale, and/or physical needs of our veterans and their dependents. There we go. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to accept on behalf of Veteran Services the $1,000 donation.
There we go. Number 4, discussion vote on the application of one-day liquor license, JPH at Ferry Hill. Reviewed this. It seems like everything's in order. Any questions, concerns from my colleagues?
No, sir.
Hearing none, then I'd like to make a motion that the board move to approve a one-day indoor wine and malt beverage license for Katie Shireen of JPH at Ferry Hill, located at 76 Ferry Hill Road, for an event on December 2nd, 2023, from 5 p.m. till 8:30 p.m., pending sign-off from Marshfield Fire Department, Marshfield Police Department, Building Department. Copy of the liquor liability insurance certificate being provided, naming Marshfield as insured. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve a one-day indoor wine and malt beverage license for JPH at Ferry Hill.
All right, number 5, discussion vote on the application of one-day liquor license, Marshfield Agricultural Society. Same thing, this is going to be the Marshfield Fairgrounds. It's for the Wicked Women's Market. It's just going to be a little wine truck there at the market. Everything seems to be in order. Hearing no thoughts or concerns from my colleagues, I'll make a motion. The board move to approve a one-day outdoor wine and malt beverage license for the Carlton Chandler on behalf of the Marshfield Agricultural and Horticultural Society for November 25th, 2023, for the Marshfield Fairgrounds at 140 Main Street for the Wicked Woman's Makers event with the following hours of 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., pending sign-off from the Marshfield Police Department, Marshfield Fire Department, Building Department. Copy of the liquor liability insurance certificate being provided, naming Marshfield as the insured. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
We did 6.
Unanimous to approve a one-day indoor-outdoor wine beverage for the Marshfield Fairgrounds for the Wicked Women Makers.
We did 6. We did 7. We'll go on to 8. 8 is discussion vote to sign the Marshfield Public Health Excellence Grant. Any thoughts, comments from my colleagues? Hearing none.
No, sir.
Then I would like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the Marshfield Public Health Excellence Group intermunicipal agreement, IMA, for the Public Health Excellence for Shared Services Grant with Norwell, Rockland, Pembroke, Hanover, and Marshfield. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the Public Health Excellent Group intermunicipal agreement.
All right. We've done 9, so we're going to go to 10, which is discussion vote on request for permission to place 25 holiday trees on town training green starting December 7th, 2023, from the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce. The chamber is looking for permission to put 25 trees up at the town green with lights. Individual business owners will have a little placard sponsoring a tree, and they decorate the tree. They'll plug into the town's power source.
That is correct.
To light up the trees. The kickoff is December 7th. And as I said, each tree would have a little sign, and there aren't any religious symbols in this display. Any comments, concerns from my peers? Hearing none, then I would like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the request of Sherry Costello on behalf of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce to place approximately 25 holiday trees on the town training green on December 7th, 2023. The trees will be sponsored and decorated by individual businesses with electricity supplied by the town. Each tree will have a small sign with a business name. No religious symbols will be used, and the chamber and business will remove the trees within 10 days following January 1st, 2024. Looking for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne.
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler.
Aye.
Mr. Darcy.
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the 25 holiday trees being decorated by businesses, put on the town green, and plugged into the town's electricity.
All right, number 11 is discussion and vote on the application for permission for a film production. Just shows how wicked beautiful our town is, huh? They keep on wanting to come down here and make movies. So I think that's great. Any thoughts,
Can we
concerns?
be in it?
I would love to be, but I wouldn't do well.
You can be the tree.
Yes, I can be the tree. I'll be out front. So without further discussion, I'd like the board to make a motion to approve the film permit for Son of the 11th Hour for RA Vision Productions, Inc., Assured Partners of Natick. The location manager director will be Rolf Zaki, I think I got that, and production manager Stephen Kaldeck, pending sign-off, thank you, Michael, pending sign-off from the Marshfield Fire Department and beaches with the following recommendations. That we're gonna have signage to warn beachgoers, dog walkers, the film is taking place, although it's pretty obvious, you got all the cameras and things going on. And that people will be able to walk past the area if they want to get to their house and access, and they'll be able to turn back and walk along the beach. The town is not gonna open the bathroom facilities. They'll have to provide their own porta potties for the event. And all trash must be removed and leave the beach and parking lot the way they found it. And that we're gonna request that they notify the Marshfield Police Department of the specifics of the filming, timing, things like that, backup dates, and any affected filming will have on the beachgoers by November 30th, so they can notify residents. We can do that through social media or other means. And we're recommending, not requiring, but we are recommending they hire a police detail for the duration of the film. And I'd look for a second for that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the film permit for the Sons of the 11th Hour with the aforementioned request from the police department to be incorporated into their permit.
And that is going to be on December 8th and 9th, if I didn't mention that. And next is discussion vote on request for permission to declare surplus town material, Stephen. And everyone knows this is one of my fun things. And we have a chair that
We have a chair.
clearly has seen way, way better days.
That's the chair you're sitting in.
Yes. It was a chair I was.
The chair
I used
saw
to
a
sit
chair.
in. And so we're going to declare that surplus, and it's under the new policy we just approved, not new policy, the existing living policy we just approved this evening on how to dispose of town surplus, because I read that. And so I'd like to make a motion unless there's further discussion over the chair. The board moves to declare, make a motion, the following broken and torn chair as surplus inventory that can be properly disposed of. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion been made and duly recorded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to declare the broken and torn chair as surplus inventory that can be properly disposed of.
So the next is, I'd like to make a motion that the board moves to approve the meeting minutes from November 6th, 2023, and November 9th, 2023. Look for a second.
Second.
Motion made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to approve the minutes from November 6th and November 9th.
And then seeing no other business, I'd like to make a motion that the select board moves to adjourn the meeting of November 20th, select board meeting of November 20th, 2023, and wish all the residents, everyone here on the board, everyone here, booth, happy Thanksgiving. Look for a second.
Happy Thanksgiving. Second.
Motion been made and duly seconded. Roll call is in order. Mr. Kilcoyne?
Aye.
Ms. Fiddler?
Aye.
Mr. Darcy?
Aye.
Unanimous vote to adjourn, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Meeting is closed.